Howard Stern wants to run for president to overturn all this bullshit. Howard's going to run for president. Okay. So I keep reading. I'm like, here we go. The infamous shock jock, 68, revealed on his Sirius XM radio show that if he ever became commander-in-chief, he would like to overturn a few things. Well, that's good to know from the intellectual. The problem with most presidents is they have too big of an agenda, he said. The New York native went on. The only agenda I would have is to make the country fair again. What the hell does that mean? What does that mean? Well, I have an idea, because if he doesn't think it's fair, I heard from a little birdie that he makes a shit ton of money every year. I think he makes like $90 million a year. So if he doesn't think it's fair, he could take that money and he could just distribute it out to the rest of us. That would make it more fair, right? Who's up for a check from Howard this month? Right? I know Tyler would sign on for one too. Jorge, we're like, where's our money? Howard, you want to make it more fair? Let's do it. Don't you love that when Obama used to throw around fair share, fair share? All right, well, it's, you rich people at the top. Let's see. Put your money where your mouth is. Let's see. Okay, I would be willing to bet Howard's not going to do that anytime soon. Call me crazy. I'll eat my words if I'm wrong. He goes on, the intellectual. He then slammed 3 of former President Donald Trump's Supreme Court justices. He doesn't like the ruling on abortion, apparently. He's a big advocate for women. You remember Howard Stern when he was like, show me your tits? That guy, the show me your tits guy, women's rights advocate. That's him. And listen, I have respect for the dude because he launched his career from nothing and he stayed true to who he was and he got very far in life. This was a guy who worked. He created a radio show that he wanted to do. It was crazy. He turned off a lot of people. He got called a lot of labels and he got to where he has some respect as an entrepreneur. But, stay in your lane. This is the guy also who used to bring on female vibrators and stick women on them and just watch. But he knows a lot about the Supreme Court. We should listen to him. He is the authority on all matters of higher intellect, apparently, these days. He went on, because this wasn't enough. He had to weigh in on, folks, you ready? The Electoral College. This is what he said. A guy who lost the vote won the election. How long can we keep electing people who lost the election? Okay, he wanted to get rid of the Electoral College, so he doesn't know why the Electoral... I don't expect Howard Stern to understand the intricacies or even the most basic concepts about the Electoral College. But if you don't understand something, stop running your mouth about it. Stop running your mouth about it. We know, and if you don't know, I'm going to tell you, the Electoral College was created to prevent something called the tyranny of the majority. What that was aimed at was they didn't want highly populated states like New York and California to determine the fate of an entire election because that meant that all the other states would be ignored. He'd love that because he agrees on policy with most of what happens in New York and California. Howard Stern was the one who was like, if you're not vaccinated, you should be relegated to basically he wanted you in the underworld on Stranger Things if you didn't get the experimental vaccine because he's a germaphobe and a big coward. Right? So he loves New York and California. The Electoral College is there to protect the rest of the states, the rest of the country, the rest of the population, and also to protect those issues because what's happening in North Dakota and what may be important to the people of North Dakota isn't important to the people in New York or California. So when you talk about energy issues and you talk about stuff like that, they don't care. They'll crush your energy. New York and California will be like, oh, green energy, everything else just needs to die. And then you're done. And you're in a part of the country that relies on energy resources as they are and drilling, et cetera. And what happens to you? So the whole point of the Electoral College, if he wants things to be fair, was to make it fair. You remove that and it's not fair. It's not fair. And God knows what would happen because look at New York and California. They're falling apart. Everybody left there. They're falling apart. The people are taxed to death. They have no freedom. The policies don't work. It's a mess. So, several important points to make. First of all, Howard Stern would be a shitty president, right? We need to say it. Sorry, Howard. Fun radio host. I do think he went a little mad. I'm not going to lie. I think the vaccine and that stuff, he went a little mad. He was always germaphobe. People didn't realize that. I used to listen to him every now and then. And I knew he was a germaphobe. He was like that guy who, he wouldn't shake hands with you if he went to a show. He wouldn't even, it was like, no. So this whole COVID thing really got him good, right? You're a germaphobe. It got you. There wasn't enough hand sanitizer to make him feel okay about what happened in the last 2 years. And yeah, so he would make a shitty president. Also, I tell people this all the time. When it comes to key issues like this, and I know celebrities say, no, I have a right to speak. You do have a right to speak. You have a right to speak about anything you want. But maybe just do a little reading first. Just a tiny bit of reading on these important matters so that you understand, because they're impactful and you have an audience and you have people that count on you. People listen. Just open a book every now and then is all I ask. Is it too much? If you like the short clip, you can catch another one here, or you can catch the full episode right here.